Hi, everybody. It's Sarah Strnad from Shul. Welcome to Resist Burnout, a 15-minute weekly call to restore, regenerate, and return to who you are. Whatever your background, your personal rituals or practices, your religion, or any other thing that you do to help restore yourself, just want to remind everybody that this is a space for you as well. Whether you're calling in every week, or this is your first time calling, or if you're listening later on in the week, we know the need for this call is there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be calling in or listening. I know a lot goes on in our world, and it sometimes goes at a really quick pace. So whether we're watching the Grammys and watching some powerful performances, thinking about what's going on in Hollywood with the Time's Up movement, or whether our thoughts are still with Puerto Rico, there's just so much that we all carry with us, and I want to acknowledge that. We are honored today that Rhonda Rosen will be leading us in an extended meditation. And so I'm thrilled that we're going to have Rhonda back with us again. And I just want to remind everybody that there are lots of other folks on this call as well. People are calling in from all over the country, New York, Massachusetts, Illinois. It looks like we might have an Iowa today, which is great. And there are people calling in who work on all kinds of issues, whether it's human rights, healthcare reform, queer rights, you name it, whether they're political activists, political staffers, nonprofit folks. So really happy to bring this community together. After the call, please post a picture of where you are, yourself, and a few words of what's going on in your heart on the Resist Burnout Facebook group. We gather on this call to practice our own heartfulness. We have just one self and a lot of work to do with it. So calling in from Pittsburgh today is Rhonda Rosen, a mindfulness meditation practitioner since 1973, and she's been leading meditation for 10 years. We are honored to have Rhonda on the call with us.
Thank you, Sarah. With Doc on the line and reports of ICE tearing families apart, those of us on the outside of the trauma are heartbroken and frightened about the seeming rise of a police state. Those on the inside of the problem whose lives are directly affected are missing relatives and friends and coworkers could very well be on the verge of panic and despair over their own fate. How can this little 15 minutes of time out be helpful? How can practicing self-soothing be more than a temporary band-aid on a life-threatening injury? Unmitigated arousal, which comes from fear or anger, wears us out. We become mentally confused. Prolonged over time, we become ill. Learning how to self-regulate the level of arousal and match it to the action that is necessary is a skill we are able to develop, and that's what we're doing during these practice sessions. We're becoming aware of our mental and physical reactivity and practicing using our attention to stop grasping for solutions or mentally rehearsing disasters. Cogent planning can only occur if we harness the energy of our fear and anger. We need the right amount of arousal for the task ahead. So now, we're developing an internal home base which is independent of the external demands. We're finding an internal steadying point so we're not simply tossed about by circumstances. Taking time out from all striving. These moments don't need to be better than they are. We don't need to be working hard or achieving any particular state. We're just resting here. Even if your self-critical mind is screaming out at you, that's okay. At least your body's resting. And you don't have to believe the habitual responses of your mind, even though the running commentary persists. Just let it do what it does. Then return back to the feeling of just being here. We've declared a timeout from any kind of creating or fixing. All the work of self-improvement can cease, and we're just resting here. So let's practice letting ourselves be. We've decided to take time out from the continual stream of demands and activities, so find a comfortable position and feel safe enough right now to let your guard down and move inward and continue breathing. Feeling the breath at the nostrils neutral and subtle. Here's the inhale, and here's the exhale. And here's the transition in between. Each time the attention wanders, just bring it back. The mind can be so predictably busy, and you can't make it be quiet. But you can practice putting sensation in the foreground and moving the attention back to this breath and this moment, breathing all by itself. With just enough energy in your attention that it rests so gently on the continuous movement of the breathing. There's nothing to control. And each time the attention wanders, very gently bringing it back. And if you like, you can count the breaths on the exhale from 1 to 4 and back again. Just labeling the exhale with a number to help you stabilize your capacity to attend to this one thing. It's so good to take some time outside of time. No demands or expectations. This breath, just breathing itself. And if you like, the attention can move to feel the body simply resting here, alive from head to toe. Letting the muscles of the face and the eyes and the mouth get soft. You can feel the top of the head, and the back of the head, the temples and the forehead. Feeling the eyes resting, seeing as passive and receptive. And you can feel the breath at the nostrils, soft and subtle. And here's the mouth and the jaw, and the chin and the cheeks. All the social muscles have a chance to relax. And you can feel the ears and the little muscles around the ears. Hearing is passive and receptive. Just listening. And feeling the neck and the shoulders, letting the shoulders soften. There's nothing to carry around with you at this moment. And you can feel the arms and the hands. Feeling the weight of the arms and the temperature of the hands. And the hands will warm as you relax and let go. And feeling the upper back and the chest. Feeling what it feels like to be alive within this body. All the organs function all on their own. The lungs expand and contract. You might feel the movement of the rib cage. Perhaps you can feel the movement of the diaphragm or feel the beating of your heart. And when you're ready, the attention can move to the middle of the back and the abdomen, the trunk of the body, breathing. And if you like, you can recall a time of comfort and ease, or a time of enormous strength. Or you can imagine the other resistance workers standing with you, around you, remembering our collective power. Or making it personal. Who has your back? What is this place that evokes a sense of internal refuge? You might be surprised by what comes to mind. Remembering or developing an image that helps you feel grounded and relaxed can be practiced this way. And the whole time, here's the body continuing to breathe all by itself. You can feel the hips and the pelvis, the weight supported, and the breath moves here too. And feeling the legs, the thighs, the knees and the calves, the ankles and the feet, the heel and instep and the ball of the foot, the top of the foot, each toe and the weight of the feet. Stable and the feet are supported. And whenever you feel the weight of your feet on the floor or feel your breath just breathing itself, you can remember this feeling of resting in this good enough moment. There's nowhere to go and nothing to do, nothing to create or fix, just resting with your feet on the floor or supported in some way. And then returning to the breath, which is still breathing all by itself. And the awareness of the breath can become a signal to return home to yourself, this breath, in this moment, breathing. And it's so good to know, even if you're not aware of the breath, it knows how to breathe by itself. And soon it will be time to open your eyes and bring your attention back to the context of this room where you're sitting or laying down. And when you open your eyes, notice what you see, shape and light and shadow. Very good. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Rhonda. I really appreciate the image of imagining who else is there, what other resistance workers are there, and who has our backs. I find that today just really moving and poignant for me. All of us are all over the place, and sometimes we forget how many of us there are, and that a space like this really does help us come back together and remember how big and powerful this community is. So I just want to invite everyone to post a photo or a word about what's on your mind or your heart on the Resist Burnout group after you hang up today. And I want to thank Rhonda for her grounding and centering words, and reminding us to breathe and reminding us that we breathe on our own anyway. Thank you all very much for being here for Resist Burnout. I look forward to being here with you next week. Bye.